Well, hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Welcome, one and all, to our show where we, as comics, solve problems. Right there on the tin. Not a lot more to say than that. We look at the world's problems. We look at the problems you've sent us, and we come up with solutions. And I think we are on episode 28 of season 2, and the world is looking...
Yeah, I mean...
All right, maybe... Yeah, we don't actually solve any problems, but we talk about shit, and we have a good laugh. So thank you for joining us. Before we get properly into it, if you are watching us on whatever social media you're watching us, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel, do the little bell thing so you know when we're on and live. There's the chat is there, and probably the YouTube channel is where the best chat is, although you can also see us on Facebook and Twitter and other places. So feel free to share and forward on. Also, during the show, there will be points where we subtly point out the fact that we are still essentially unemployed comedians. And if you'd like to contribute anything, even just like £2 or something like that, or 100 quid, but £2 is probably more realistic to hit for and aim for, considering we're two assholes in our spare rooms.
Yeah.
But also, thank you for the people who pre-purchased tickets through Crack Comedy and our connection with them. We appreciate you as well. You can ignore the begging pitches unless you're feeling flush, unless you're getting a little bit of that next little self-employment grant money here in the UK. Just what's coming in at the end of the month. So that's basically it. I think Mr. Steve, you're going to stick us in the first problem.
Yep. Okay. First problem I want to solve is how do we finally sort out this tier system? Oh, man, it's been such a mess. In case you're watching this not in the UK, we had this tiered system of lockdown, of local lockdowns. There were 3 tiers. We actually did videos on this explaining them and working out how somehow there was a 4th tier within a 3-tier system. Go out and have a look. It's all on the YouTube page. You can see the clips. But the 3-tier system that we had in the UK was so successful, we ended up in national lockdown. So now we're coming out of national lockdown next week. We're going back into a 3-tier system, but not the same one. This one is apparently a tougher post-lockdown tier system.
Good Lord.
Yes, they're getting tougher. How is the new system tougher than the previous 3-tier system? Let's look at some of the differences. You can go in more shops than you previously could. More sporting events you'll be able to attend, and the 10 p.m. curfew is being eased. I'm not really sure they know how to do stricter. It feels like they don't know what that word means. If the government were a dominatrix, they would be terrible at being more strict.
You want me to be stricter? Okay. Here's a voucher for free parking near the dungeon.
I mean,
I did not see that one coming.
Some special effects in there that no one wanted to
it's your voice behind the woman.
But even I'm freaked out by seeing that, but it's still not as weird as me singing 9 to 5. Go and find that in the clips too. So we can break down some of these different situations, some of the rules, some of the changes. For example, let's look at this one. All shops can reopen. And this is, we had headlines saying, non-essential shops are soon to open. And I was sat there the other night thinking, I don't really know what non-essential items are, if I'm honest. Maybe it's because I'm northern, but I only buy things if I need them. So everything I've got feels like it's essential. And I was really starting to wrap my brains. What would be a good example of a non-essential item? And then I watched on the BBC Nigella's Cook, Eat, Repeat, where she said this.
Right. I have given my licorice box a bit of an international refit.
You've done what, you dirty pup? Oh, you've done what to your licorice box? Is that a euphemism? I don't know what it is. She's got a licorice box. And it's a box where she keeps all of her different licori.
Okay.
That feels non-essential to me. Anyway, I was watching this show, so she also said...
So where should we go first? Germany, why not? Warum nicht?
Same to you too, love. So I didn't realise there was international types of licorice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man alive. Then she because I looked at that box and I thought it's just a sewing box. And then she showed us this one.
These
are buttons. You are in your sewing box. You're about to eat buttons, you crazy lady. And then she explained what they actually were.
dragée, a bit like, you know, salmiak.
Oh, thank you. Because when you said dragée, I was a little bit lost. But when you explained by saying it's a bit like Tom Selleckniak or whatever, that it really helps. Thank you. Flipping posh people. Oh my God. She's got a box to keep her various licorice in. Oh, because could you imagine if one's licorice were to become unsorted? It would be chaos. I don't have those problems, and a licorice box is very much not essential for me. But you know what? Turns out posh people have licorice boxes. It takes all sorts. Thank you. All sorts. Thanks very much. Thank you. For the Also Show, thank Try the Veal. I'm here all week. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you too. So, do you know what? We should have been expecting her to talk utter crap, because earlier in the show she said this.
Everyone needs a special occasion cake, and this one is mine.
What are you on? Everyone needs a special occasion cake. I've made it to the age I am now without one. So that's not essential either. I don't have a recipe to make it's a special occasion. Oh, well, I simply can't go round to Jasper's without having a cake. It's a special occasion. Take some licorice from the box. So, anyway, moving away from cake and all this, we're not meant to be talking about her. We're talking about the different rules with the tier system that we're moving into. Let's look at that second one that we saw. Spectators can return to games with a limit of 4,000 fans. So, it's time to do the thing that we so infrequently do. It's our infrequently recurring feature.
Sports. 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 Sporty sports. Sports.
Sports. So, 4,000 people can now attend an outdoor match if you're in Tier 1, which I suppose it makes sense. You can't actually have a supporter fan base if you stick to the rule of 6, unless you support your team. Oh, that's how you do a slam with sports jokes.
What's my team, Steve?
I don't know about teams, but that's how you do a sports insult. So it's 4,000 or 50% of capacity. So actually, you still could be down to 6 if you support the same team as you. Oh, high five. No one? Okay. But that's only for Tier 1. If you move up to Tier 2, where the infection is becoming more rampant, then you can still get 2,000 fans going. Or still 50%. I mean, some people are going to die, but we're going to save some. And sport's really important. It's so important that people still need to die. It makes no sense to me. It's an absolute... I'm not sporty, so it just seems ridiculous that we are going to see more infections because people want to go and see the sports. Especially when you compare and contrast it to... Weddings and receptions only get 15 guests, and you can only have 30 people at a funeral. And yet you can have 2,000 people at a Tier 2 sporting event. What do you do with that information? If you want more than 15 or 30 guests at your wedding or funeral, you just got to turn it into a sport. Start taking bets on how long you think the marriage is going to last. That's what people do anyway. They just don't do it publicly. All of a sudden, you got yourself a spectator sport. And I don't wish to be indelicate, but it's not a million miles difference between what happens at a funeral and golf. Because you have a hole in the ground, you've got something you've got to try and get in it. You put that casket on casters... Shove it down there like the luge. Next thing you know, you can get more than 30 people turning up. I'm here to help. But, okay, I don't get sport. I know sport people love sport. Maybe we don't have that many sports people watching, but they might be like, no, Steve, I got to go and see me football. Whee.
That's what they all sound like.
That's what they all sound like. In that case, you can go and watch your football under the new COVID rules, as long as you change some of the chants that you do. You know, football chants, a lot of famous football chant. I've got some suggested ones. This one...
You're going home in a fucking ambulance.
Still works, but it's because of COVID. There's also this one that still works.
Who's the wanker? Who's the wanker? Who's the wanker in the black?
It's death. He's turned up to take all the people who are nearly about to pass. And I've slightly had to change this one, but I think we can still get away with it.
You only sing when you're breathing. You only sing when you're breathing. You only sing when you're breathing.
And I've done it. I've solved the problem of how the tiers work. Thank you.
That was the saddest team cheering I've ever heard. I mean, I know you're not into it, but Jesus.
No, it's miserable because why are we risking lives to have? I don't know. There's a economic case to be made, but I still don't care. So
I do like the golf funeral analogy. I think that makes a lot of sense because in both the hole in the ground, like you said, and you get your special cars.
Yeah,
special car for the funeral, special car for golf. So that makes a lot of sense. I think the tears had a lot to do with Nigella, though.
I was sat there feeling so working class, like which everyone must have a special occasion cake. You're forgetting the working class and the diabetics. I imagine those are two groups who don't particularly obsess about it. Honestly, flipping posh people.
Yep. You'd think she had diabetes if she's got a bucket full of sweets or case full of sweets. I mean, that can't.
Yeah,
that's not healthy.
Special. Look, there's only one special receptacle I've got for licorice, and it's called the bin because it tastes like a dead dog's dick. You weirdo. But
did we cover the story about the guy who died from eating too much licorice?
I don't think we did.
Because there's a toxin in the licorice, and he ate so much licorice in one setting that he died. Unfortunately, we were very sorry for his family and for the licorice company. Yeah, it's a true thing. I'm pretty sure it was in America.
What? Yeah. Okay. No one on the message board is questioning that.
Yep. Pretty much guaranteed. So yeah, should we check on the messages there? Let's see.
Jack says, but surely it's licorice, not licorice.
Licorice.
Licorice. Some of the here we go.
The government are afraid of being stricter in case they're accused of bullying. Yeah.
That'll do it.
Do it.
Hi to Neolithic BC, who says, how are you? Hi, thank you for watching. They're on Twitch. Thank you very much for that. Mark says, we can hear you coughing hard. We can hear you. I wish I knew which chant that was. I had to Google football chants earlier today.
Oh, my God. Even I know the ambulance one. Jesus.
I don't know. I don't do sports.
Sal has said, does the person in the coffin count towards the 15? That is a good point.
God. I'd hope not.
I mean...
4,000 fans, the football club in Milton Keynes saw this and said, we've got no chance. Yay! Is that the football team that you support? Ew.
Can you name us? Have you ever support? What's your local football team?
Don't know. The
God.
Kentish United. Does Kent have a football team? The Gills. I've heard of those. They're a football team in Gillingham.
But when you were growing up, there must have been one near you.
There was Mansfield Town.
Yeah.
Don't think they ever did anything particularly good. And I was not that far away from Nottingham Forest. And they were big enough to have the photos in the sticker books that you could collect and stick in. I believe they were in the newsagents. Mansfield Town never were. And for me, that was the only measure, if I saw you in the newsagents or not.
That was your dream, and that's why you're in so many local newspapers now.
Yeah. Yes.
You're more successful than your local football teams.
Interviewed in the Swindon Advertiser about the failure of the comedy industry. Why not have a read? Chris says, tougher system, back in lockdown by January. Yeah, exactly. What an absolute mess this is going to be.
Yep, at least we got our Christmas. Let's see, I think, is that got don't I miss any others? It
might be nicely up to date. Oh, wait a minute, Paul says, oh, wait, an albatross is good, though. Now, I know that's a golf joke, but also something to do with funerals. Don't fully get it.
There we go. Nice. And also, don't forget, as we're taking you through the problems, not only can you subscribe to the channel, but you can chuck us a little Ko-fi every now and then, if you are so inclined. And if we can do a bespoke football chant for you. We're starting to do goals on the Ko-fi page as well. Our first goal was to get Steve a flat cap, which we exceeded that goal. And so, any other goals or challenges you want to see in there?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and just a little football update. Kent apparently has plenty of football teams. Gillingham, Dartford, Maidstone United, Dover Athletic, Sittingbourne Town and Sheppey United. Which, Sheppey United as a phrase terrifies me. It sounds more like they're rising up against the rest of humanity and they might win. Just saying.
It's a bunch of dogs. The Shepherd's Rising.
I don't think it's Maybe it's named after shepherds, but the Isle of Sheppey Island.
There's an island. Is this one of those real islands? Because don't you guys have, is it Essex or Kent, that has the Isle of Dogs, but it's not actually an island?
Essex has the Isle of Dogs, but Kent has islands that aren't islands. Yeah.
Yeah, just to fuck with the Americans that come visit and do gigs in those places and say, "Oh, I didn't know if I'd be able to get on this island," and then watch a room full of people laugh at you, but not for the reason you thought they would.
Yeah.
To have a room full of people laughing.
Oh, those were the days. Those were the days.
Remember those days? Well, that's a different problem. Speaking of dogs, actually, that's a nice segue into our next problem. What do you do when an alligator attacks your dog?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a simple answer. You get a new dog.
Yeah.
It's very easy. There's loads of them. There's too many of them. If anything, you say, all right, alligator, there you go. That's special for you. That's what you would think, right? But that's not what you do if you're this guy, which we can see here.
It was a wild encounter that took a terrifying turn in Florida.
How American is that reporter who's going to explain this story?
I love how they go up and down. It was a wild encounter in Florida. There's no way he talks like that in real life, is there?
Why can't he just do what we all have done and go, look at this video of this guy wrestling on an alligator and his little dog? He doesn't need to put that in there. He's like, you got to see this. Look at this. I mean, it's social media, basically. So there's a little bit more about the story. Let's play the next clip.
Surveillance video shows the moment Richard Wilbanks jumped into action after an alligator grabbed his puppy Gunner and dragged the dog into the water behind his house.
Now, you know this is a story that could only happen in America, not just because of the announcer, but because the dog is named Gunner. Guns are very important in America, even little tiny puppies. Name them after the gun. Now, obviously, the alligator dragged the puppy in. That's never very good. And the man did save the dog, so there's a happy ending to this story. I'm not just showing you the story of a dog getting eaten by an alligator. We wouldn't do that. But saving the dog is not even the best part of this story. Watch.
For nearly 20 seconds, it was a wrestling match between man and gator. Richard with what appears to be a cigar in his mouth the entire time.
Because you can get a new dog, but you can't get a new stogie.
Nice.
He's been chewing on that thing for months. He went under the water and he kept the stogie in his mouth. I mean, I guess both of them have jaws like an alligator.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst thing to happen in this story. The dog escaped, but this next bit, it's a little bit hard to hear.
And Richard was able to pry Gunner from the small predator's grip, allowing the dog to say, "Later, Gator."
Oh, just fuck off. I mean, the voice is bad enough, but who put that into their script? Look at later, Gator. High five, Steve. Yeah. Oh, let's put that in the clip. I mean, this is why people hate America.
Yeah. Not just the only reason, but
yeah, it's not the only reason. There's lots of reasons. Gunners, dogs. But you have to think, like, because this is an amazing thing that happened, and you can imagine that you come home from the wife to the wife, and you're all wet, and she's like, "What happened to you? And why is the dog bleeding?" You know, "Oh, it was a gator." It's difficult to explain these things, but they know about it because it was captured on camera for this reason.
The dramatic rescue was captured as part of a research project where residents living near wildlife habitats allow cameras to be placed in their backyards.
It's definitely not typical. It's not what we expected to see.
Really? That's not what we expected to see? You didn't expect to capture a pensioner wrestling with a tiny alligator with a cigar in his mouth? No? You didn't expect that? Of course you didn't expect that, especially because with these cameras all over the southern part of Florida, this is what they normally capture in the videos. I mean, look at that stream.
Can you stop putting penises on the show? This is the second Tuesday in a row where there's been an inappropriate penis clip.
That was on Thursday, I think.
Was it? Oh, well, that makes it better.
I think it was the last show. Maybe it was Tuesday. But it's not as big. But look at the strength of that man's stream. Remember when you could urinate like that, Steve?
Still can.
Remember those?
I'm all about the stream. I mean, I do have to hold my nose and blow, but it helps. Got to build up the internal pressure.
Cameras everywhere.
My favourite thing about that, and get involved on the comment boards about this, is that, you know, at some point in the future, it'll meet like a new couple. There'll be a couple who are a couple of friends, and they'll be out for dinner, and they'll be saying, "Oh, tell us about yourself." And the new couple will be saying, "Oh, we've got a dog. It's a rescue dog." And he'll just go, "You rescued that dog? I rescued my dog. That's a story.
That's the way you do that. I'm surprised he didn't shoot the alligator. I mean, that's what he should have done.
Yeah, that's. He's effectively the Floridian Steve Irwin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, stay away from the stingrays.
Oh, too soon. Oh, hashtag too soon. Oh,
Too soon?
oh, not Steve Irwin. Oh, bless him.
It's his own fault.
So it is. Look, if it weren't such a small alligator, I didn't realise they could be that small. Because I look at that and think even I might have a crack at trying to beat that thing.
Well, they have to be. They're that small at some stage in their life.
Yeah.
They're not born 6 foot long, Steve.
Yeah.
Do I need to explain
neither
how
was
babies work?
No, I remember it myself. I might be over 6 foot now, but I wasn't born this way. But no, I like, you know, if you the story of alligator gets dog, you think, okay, enjoy the dog. Whereas if you see one that size, have a little.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he was getting in there. So
Yeah.
I think they're still quite strong.
Apparently they've got much stronger muscles to close their mouth than to open it, but that's no good when your dog's in there. So
Yeah, at least he didn't get the cigar. That's the main thing here.
Right, the message boards. Sal says, I'm guessing that old guy will soon have a belt and matching shoes. I rescued my dog, and you just see the belt and shoes. Nice.
Let's see, Mark says, I tell you what, the jet was pretty powerful. The boat was really moving. Pushing it forward. It's incredible. What was great about that clip is actually there wasn't just the one guy. It went on. I figured we didn't need to watch too much of it, but the other guy both thought, oh, that's a good idea. So he stood up at the end of the boat as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's propulsion. It's the same as a jet engine. It's Newton's third law.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Sheppy has always been united, maybe a little too much if you look at the infection rates. That's good. I think, is it Sheppy? No, it's Swale in Kent that's now become the worst place in the UK for infection rates or infection cases. I can't
Well
remember.
done, Kent.
Yeah. No, we're doing well here. Doing well.
Doing good. Doing good.
And Sheppy United are nicknamed the Ites. Oh, I don't want to know what that's short for.
Let's see. All right. And don't forget the YouTube is there and the Ko-fi is there as well.
If you could chuck us some money in the pot, it would be very much appreciated to keep this whole thing afloat.
Keep it going. Keep us floating.
If you want to see regular penis videos that Eric keeps loading into the show, then you've got to give us some Ko-fi money to pay for all of his research.
Telling you, YouPorn, that's our next platform.
God.
We
Probably
have discussed
isn't it?
Right. Okay. You want to? It's your problem, Steve?
Yeah, my problem. And how do we fix what's going to happen at Christmas? Because look, Christmas is coming up, and for many, it's a special occasion.
Everyone needs a special occasion cake, and this one is mine.
They sell them in the shops. Just go and buy one if it's Christmas. Anyway, and the big news is about the relaxation of the rules. We are going to be able to get a three household bubble and travel restrictions lifted. It's just been announced today. Yes, that means it's great. People can celebrate. People can spend time with loved ones. People can spend 5 days longer in lockdown for each day that's relaxed for Christmas. And even better, bury relatives because of the time we spend together. So, great. That's what we're looking at. People are obsessed with their idea of having Christmas, and it's going to cost lives. What we need, and look, the government are clearly, they knew that they'd be between a rock and a hard place. If they didn't relax the rules, people would go and have Christmas anyway. And it's like when we did the sketch with your dog, when we said that the government relaxes rules if they know people are going to break them. It's like when you say to a dog, sit, and it just stands there. So you go, stay, that's it, carry on doing what you do. That every word I say he listens to. It's the same version of that. But these spending time together with loved ones is going to cost lives. What we need right now is some sort of Grinch who can try and ruin it for everyone. What we need is some misanthropic misery guts who can take the edge off Christmas and make more people want to spend it alone. What we need is a right old grumpy git. And I might be the man for the job. Yes. Finally, I thought I was just getting old and miserable early, but turns out I was honing my skills, ready for when society calls. So, look, why would you want to spend time with your family at Christmas? This is the one year when you can get away with it. Now let's go back to the headline as well. Three household bubble. Why are they not calling it a Christmas bauble? These people are wasting my damn time. I'm not going to listen to a government that can't even spot puns like that.
You know what I'd say to them?
Yeah.
Later, Gator.
Oh. So, and It's a 3 family. That's all we're allowed. Which means there's bound to be other people who are in the family who are going to feel left out. This is just like, if no one sees anyone this year, it's fine. But if some people see their favourites, you're just going to sow tension and hatred and cause schisms in families. So at least you know what most of the rows in 2021 are going to be about. Also, there's the issue of buying gifts. You can't turn up to someone's house without buying them a gift, unless you're going to make them some sort of special occasion cake for Jasper. Oh. But that means you're going to have to go shopping. I thought we were going to get away with it, not buying gifts this year. But that means you've got to go and buy gifts. You've got to go shopping. Bear in mind, Christmas shopping is normally full of queues. 2020 shopping has been full of queues. That's going to multiply. It means that you're going to end up having to camp outside of a shop like some sort of Harry Potter nerd just to buy socks for an in-law. This is a waste of your goddamn time. Also bear in mind that, look, when you get together, normally there'll be some uncle, some nephew, some sort of arrangement that means they always get stuck into some sort of row. And if you can avoid meeting them, that means you don't have to row about, look, by the time you meet them next year, Brexit will have happened and Trump will have left the White House. You'll still row with them. There'll be some left-wing, right-wing snowflake problem, but at least you'll be rowing about a topic that's different to the same one you've done for 4 years.
Yep.
It'll be so good. So I say no to Christmas. Get rid of it. It's a waste of your goddamn time. Look, I know no one's convinced, but if you've started to feel extra pressure to meet up with family this year, just play them this rant, and it'll hopefully mean that you get away with saying no a bit more. So hopefully I've solved the problem at Christmas. Boom.
I think so. There you go. Looks like the war on Christmas has been started by Mr. Steve N. Allen.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, if you want a good beta test of what will happen at Christmas in the UK, just watch what's going to happen after this week and Thanksgiving in the United States. Because in spite of everything, people are still getting together, even though they've been told by the CDC, don't go see your family. And, you know, I mean, I agree with you on this one. I'm all for it. I mean, you're looking at 2 people, my wife and I, we left America and have moved 2,000 to 5,000 miles away just so we don't have to see our families on the holidays.
Pretty good.
So, and I'm saying that knowing some of them watch this show. That's right.
I do understand how it is a little bit different for Americans than Thanksgiving, because for Christmas there's no special link there, but for Thanksgiving, meeting up with people and giving them a disease really taps into what a lot of the people did in America to the indigenous people.
It really is the way to connect to the historical significance of the event. And we will be talking about it on Thursday because it is Thanksgiving Day. Okay. And so I'm coming around your house with a blanket that has smallpox in it to drop off for you.
Just a COVID blanket this year, please.
But yeah, I mean, celebrate Christmas after there's been a vaccine, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's so close to it.
Very simple.
It's so close because now we're up to a stupid amount of vaccines. The Oxford one came out since we last spoke, I think, and now they've said it costs about the price of a coffee, which admittedly, if that's in London, that's still like 15 quid. But it's probably about 3 quid a shot as opposed to the 15 quid for the Pfizer or the £28 for the Moderna one. It can be transported easily, mass-produced. Like, this vaccine could really change things, but it won't be ready for Christmas, so just calm down. Have some eggnog at home.
Yeah, and when we speak about price of a coffee, look at that. You can contribute to us, and if you do, we'll make one of our own vaccines. Why not? Everybody's doing it. There's like 3 or 4 now.
Yeah.
We'll kick in. We could do it. Steve, chemistry.
I got chemistry. I got some of the antibodies left, probably. I'll let you lick some of my blood.
Drama. I could play a scientist. There
Good.
you go.
Nice.
Just, you see that?
Could you, as well, take your glasses off to say, there's been a breakthrough?
There's been a breakthrough.
That's worth £3 of anyone's research fund. So there you go, ko-fi.com/comic solving problems.
There we go. Right. To the comments there. Britt says hi. Hi, Britt. Nice
Britt.
to see you there. What else have we got? Here we go.
Mark says, genuine, I have already decided to ignore Christmas almost entirely. No tinsel, no turkey dinner, not going to bother. I mean, I'm still going to eat turkey. Well, calm down here. I might be the Grinch, but I'm still going to have my fun Christmas eating food in my face. I'm not going to miss out the food. Whoa, I'm a little bit worried.
And that's one of the reasons why you don't want to see your family. More food for you.
More food for me.
More food for you. Think about it that way, guys. If you're thinking about seeing your family over Christmas, no.
Yeah.
It's all about you. I lost track of which one you just read.
The next one's Chris replying to Mark saying, right behind you there, mate. Seriously not in the mood for it. It's working. My Grinch stuff is working.
There we go. Britt's comment on the flat cap fund. When the COVID, make it the COVID Vax fund. Why not? Trump's raising money to pay for his re-election fight when that's pretty much over. It's good logic. Our work is done. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I agree.
And Chris says a wee bit of Eric McElroy method, and Mark says method as well. There it is. Look at that, like a scientist.
Like Clark Kent and Superman, though. Can't even recognize me, can you?
You know how you it's like Clark Kent and Superman, where we only recognize you from your penis, because for some reason you made us play the clip last week.
I've got a picture of my penis from when I was young. Hold on.
No.
I mean, granted, it's from last week, but...
but you were younger. Yeah. Can you take your glasses off and say hydroxychloroquine?
Hydroxychloroquine. Look at that.
Look at
That's
that.
only taken me...
That.
That's after it's not allowed to be given out as a recovery aid anymore. But I can say it. Hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine. The musical of COVID. What do you think?
At some point, we could write the COVID the musical. Yeah, that seems like the kind of thing we do. Lovely.
If you don't want to pay for the vaccine, what you can do is pay for us to do a musical. It could be like Hamilton.
It'll be off Broadway. It'll be here.
Well, yeah, but the capacity will only be 50%, and because the vaccines won't work. Oh, dear. All right. But,
on to the final problem then.
Final problem is Emmy, and here we go. And I just saw Sal bought us a coffee. I just saw that, so I thought I'd say thank you to Sal while we're live. We appreciate that, and he said he misses us. We miss you too, Sal. It's been a long time.
We'll be back. We'll be back gigging before. Well, not before we know it. It'll definitely be next year at least, but we will
should
be back.
know it. I was supposed to be in Bristol last weekend, actually, out towards that way, but that's been rescheduled towards April. Really optimistic booking there. But this is a problem, Steve. Kind of relates to what we're talking to. The question is, how do you leave? How do you leave when 80 million people have voted for you to fuck off and you don't want to go? But to be fair, the 80 million people voted for you to leave, and it has reached 80 million today officially. But the 73 or so million people did vote for you to stay. And when you look at those people who voted for you to stay, they're people like this.
Any Republican that allows this to happen is complicit, and we will finish you. Enemy!
Yeah. Now, in case you're wondering what's going on there, those are Trump supporters in Georgia protesting the fact that the vote has gone against Trump. The vote is being recounted again for a third time because there was the initial vote, which Trump lost. Then they did a hand recount, which Trump lost. And now he's asked for a machine recount. Because third time lucky. He's going to lose Georgia 3 times. So what these guys are doing, they're Trump supporters, so they're traditionally Republicans, and they're upset that the Republican-controlled legislature, or governor and secretary of state, are allowing this to happen and allowing the democratic will of the people to go forward, because that's just not what they're all about these days in the Republican Party. And so what they're saying is that basically, if the Republicans who are in control don't support Trump as a Republican president, they'll never vote for any Republicans again.
Cool.
Yep. I mean, they just went on for ages. Here's another clip.
We will do whatever it takes to completely destroy the Republican Party.
We the people!
I just love it. And I love that they're going to destroy their own party to protest against their own party. And then the reaction of the crowd, like, there's a pause, like, yeah. Woo! There's no real enthusiasm. They're like, what is he even saying? But my favorite clip, because this went on, it was basically the same thing over and over again for ages. It's worth watching. But my favorite was this woman. It's very quick. It's very short. Listen, see if you can see what she's saying.
Tell it.
They're weenies!
They're weenie. We got it louder.
Tell it.
They're weenies!
They're weenies!
Is that what she's saying?
Nothing says fight the man like standing outside of state court to overturn democracy. I don't want to use any curse words. They're weenies!
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. She's carrying a gun, and she would have shot you. But she's not going to use a swear word.
Yeah.
It's Christian. She's a Christian.
Wow.
The whole thing, the rally, the way they were yelling, all of it, it reminded me of something that I couldn't remember what it was. And then I saw this.
Did you hear him?
Did she say weenies as well?
It's close enough for me.
It's close enough. It's a squeaky woman's voice. I don't know what she was saying. It hasn't been easy for Trump. I mean, the last couple of days, it's just very clear. There's just no way that he can turn this around. The transition has finally begun. And so he hasn't made very many public appearances. But he did come out earlier today, just 2 days before Thanksgiving, and he did something that is a time-honored tradition for American presidents that goes back decades, where he pardoned the turkey.
It's corn, yes, it's corn.
Corn, I hereby grant you a full pardon.
Yeah. I heal you, Jesus. Now, it's important for Trump to do that, obviously, because it's the last time he gets to do as president. Also, clearly, there's going to be a lot of pardoning of turkeys coming up in the next few weeks.
Hey.
That's going to happen a lot. Yeah, there we go. And we actually have, he pardoned, that was Cobb. Actually, there was 2 turkeys pardoned. One was, or 3 turkeys pardoned today. I think there was Cobb and corn. See what they've done there with the names. And but there was another turkey that was pardoned earlier in the day, and we have a picture of him. There he is. Little Don Jr. action going on. Look at that. And I photoshopped that myself.
Did you?
Put that back up there. That is.
I can barely tell.
You can barely. That is shit photoshopping. And I did that intentionally because Donald Trump Jr. doesn't even deserve my time to bother photoshopping him in properly. He doesn't deserve it.
Is that
That's
what
my showing of contempt. I'm not even gonna fill out. It was black around. I could have easily just filled that in, made his beard look a little bit more full, but no, I'm not gonna waste my time.
That showed him. That's what'll bring him down. Not the losing Georgia for a 3rd time, or losing Georgia so many times they're going to demand a recount about how many times they've lost. Not that, but it's more about the fact that you're not going to Photoshop. Yeah.
Yep.
Would you like them apples?
Showed him. And the thing is, what's terrifying is that Don Jr. is the person who's most likely to inherit his father's mantle and be the next nominee for president for 2024.
Wow.
And that ain't a joke.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Right.
Gives us more stuff to write jokes about. I'm up for it. It's not my nation being ruined.
There we go. Anything else? We are towards the end here. So, yeah.
Pop that up in case you want to chuck some money in. Keith points out the same when the picture of the guy doing away out the back of the boat. Is he propelling the boat? Do you know what? It turns out maybe there is something in it then. If everyone thinks that's the way to get around nautically.
Yeah. Well, you see how fast the boat goes when he has a poo. Because then you've got water displacement.
Then that's... Oh, there we go for a science nerdy joke. That's Newton's second law, because the rate of change of mass is actually the rate of change of momentum, mass times velocity, and you might stay at the same speed, but you're just getting rid of a few pounds. Am I right?
Yep. And it's the second law because he's having a number 2.
Oh, is that the joke? No, I was actually looking at the equations of force equals mass times acceleration.
But I was doing the more obvious.
I'm glad you were there to pick up that one.
That's why we're such effective team. Let's see. Britta said hand count, machine count, and then the magical unicorn fart fairy dust count, please. Or else we all call you weenies.
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 I love it.
I think that's what she was saying. What else would that word be?
Yeah, I couldn't work it out. I've only heard it a couple of times there. I do think it's amazing that they're still wanting recounts. I mean, I don't know how this is going to play out. I know that now the transition team have been allowed in.
Yep.
Which I think is a nice moment. I mentioned on Twitter that it just goes to show that Donald Trump said that America was going to get sick and tired of winning. I guess they got sick and tired of winning a lot quicker than people expected. 4 years was too much, and they're like, could we lose a bit now? Could we lose a few times?
There's way too much winning. Yeah. I'm exhausted from winning. I'm going home in a fucking ambulance. There you go. Little sports thing there. Get yourself going, Dawn. Yep, I agree. Stop with the tweets, Pete.
Lay off the golf roll.
We've got musical songs being constructed in the chat.
That's good. Do you know, I mean, I'm not sure if we can get these because they disappear. Some of these messages disappear from the chat, but we could actually record 50 ways to leave the White House.
There we go.
As long as we read them all out, then we'll know what they are at the moment, so we can just get it from watching it back. So, hop on the bus, Gus.
Here we go.
Get yourself gone, Don. Stop with the tweets, Pete. Lay off the golf, Rolf. Quit Air Force One, chum.
There we go.
All right, we got those. We might be able to add those to a song for Thursday.
And we will steal that as a writing credit because the comments disappear and you can't fucking prove it.
Hey, nice. So we do.
So there we go. Yeah, I think we've nearly gotten to the end. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel because we do put other clips on there as well, little highlights. All the past shows are there. You could watch the 4.5 hours we did of live election night coverage. That was fun, and definitely needs to be watched back numerous times.
And yeah, you can also watch me singing the scientific research version of 9 to 5, which absolutely everyone who's seen it, even just people elsewhere in my life who've seen it, they went, God, that one you did about 9 to 5 was just harrowing.
Yeah.
So apparently there's something weird about my face in it.
It's very strange. I don't know. The dominatrix thing that you did earlier today, that's definitely...
Oh, it is weird.
We do that to take us out. Let's see. Where is she? He, she.
Oh, yeah, I've got it. I've got it ready to play. Yeah, I can play it now.
You want me to be stricter? Okay. Here's a voucher for free parking near the dungeon.
Yeah.
If you don't want to see that again, put money in the Ko-fi. We'll delete the whole episode.
Or if you want a voucher for free parking near the dungeon, we won't be able to follow through with that, but we'll take the money.
There we go. So we'll be back on Thanksgiving Day on Thursday, because I won't be celebrating Thanksgiving because I live in a country that Thursday.
Thanks what?
Don't even. It is a beautiful holiday. It's a holiday that people are willing to die for, and this year they're going to do it. Actually, they're more likely going to kill their grandparents, but still, it's the same sentiment, because nothing says you love grandma like killing her.
Wow, that's deep. Get ready for Christmas for us as well. So, right, yeah, we're totally up to date. Chuck some money in the pot would be very much appreciated. Spread the word, spread the link of past shows, and yeah, get yourself sat down with popcorn Thursday at 9 o'clock for our little internet version of televisual entertainment.
There we go. We will see you there. Thank you to everybody who got us a drink and bought tickets to the show. And yeah, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.